If you like to make your NFL games a little bit more interesting, you've come to the right place. It's the Even Money Podcast with Ross Tucker and Steve Fezzik.
Yeah, Vegas, baby, Vegas. It is the Even Money Podcast. We are presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours. And we are back, and it feels so good. Week one of the 2025 NFL season. Although, hopefully, those of you that have been paying attention to last week's episode or that get our email newsletter over at rosstucker.com know this is one of two Even Money Podcast episodes this week. We will also not only make our picks against the spread for every game that we are inclined today, early on a Tuesday morning, but also on Thursday, we will have episode number 2, where we will discuss the line moves over the 48 plus hours. We will give you some player props that we like. We will also, of course, dive into a couple of parlays, since we know a lot of you like to play parlays. And we'll have Dr. Chow from sportsinjurycentral.com to give us the injury information that can hopefully give us the edge. By we, a lot of times I'm talking about he, the one and only Steve Fezzik, at Fezzik Sports on social media. He's a legend in the industry. Just ask him. No, I'm kidding. He really is. You got to check out all the contests, documented contest success that he's had. I'm merely Ross Tucker, former NFL player. Now I'm a broadcaster. I got 2 games this week. Thursday night, radio, Westwood 1, Cowboys, Eagles with Kevin Harlan in the booth. Then Friday morning, I'll fly down to New Orleans, Cardinals and Saints Sunday, NFL on CBS. You can check me out at Ross Tucker NFL. Check us out at Ross Tucker Pod. He is at Fezzik Sports. We do huge numbers on YouTube this time of year, which is amazing. YouTube.com/Ross Tucker NFL. Please go ahead and not only subscribe, but turn the notifications on. And if you haven't done it now, it's time. Patreon.com/RT Media. Sign up to become a Tuckheads member. That way, all the bets we make today and Thursday, you will see them on this beautiful spreadsheet, black and white, put together by our Australian sensation, Sean Gray. They must really like betting in Australia, because all the Australians I know, led by Sean, they are all over it. I can't wait to see his spreadsheet for week one. Patreon.com/RT Media. It's less than $10 a month. So for the whole football season, $60 to save yourself hours and hours of writing everything down seems to make sense to me. Again, Patreon.com/RT Media. All right, Steve, we got 2 things we have to discuss before we get into the betting lines for week one. And they're both very, very relevant. Number one, we don't often have news like this, but the Micah Parsons news from Thursday afternoon. Steve, you're talking about arguably the best defensive player in the NFL. We had already last Tuesday done our season win total bets. Now with that news, I'm curious, number one, did their win total numbers change? And number 2, does it change your handicap for either team?
So I was already high on Green Bay. Lucky there. Of course it's going to change the season win number, because dude is worth 1.5 points. That's as high as a defensive player goes. It's deserved. He is, right there as the best defensive player. So how much does 1.5 points move the needle? 17 games. So that's 25 points. That's worth like 5/7 of a win. Well, guess what happened? Green Bay's season win number went up from 9.5 to 10.25. And Dallas's season win number from 7.75, it's heading down to 7. What do I mean when I say a decimal point? Basically, it means Green Bay right now is anywhere from 10 to 10.5 on their season wins. I have an immediate best bet from this, Ross. Week 4, NFL, not week 1, week 4, Green Bay goes to Dallas. This is available at DraftKings. Green Bay minus 2.5, minus 115 is an outstanding bet. Also play the minus 148. This line should be about Green Bay minus 4, and you could take advantage of a game of the year that just is not priced right because of this news.
Wow. Why wouldn't, because people are so focused on week one, they're not looking at week four after that news?
We're all betting Ohio State, Texas for us. I mean, there's a lot of action. There's a lot of things going on. And these are the sort of bets that tend to fall between the cracks. And as early as week two also. So, I mean, you look at the week one lines, they've adjusted. But week two, Green Bay's hosting Washington. They're still -3, lay 105. That's a good bet also.
Okay. The other thing we need to talk about relates to our primary sponsor and also the lines that we use. You texted me this late last week and notified me. This is devastating because we've had a lot of success on this show, and 2-team 6-point teasers has been a big part of it. DraftKings was like one of the last books standing at -120. You texted me, Steve, that DraftKings is now -135. What does that mean now for our beloved 2-team 6-point teasers? You know how I like to rotate them.
Yeah, and wheel them back and forth, and there will be no wheeling. The 18-wheeler has been derailed. Hey, in Vegas, we don't have any more 6-point teasers at -120. So DraftKings has gone that route as well. And I will not be releasing any NFL teasers on this show or to my clients. They're no longer widely available. It was great while it lasted. I'm old enough to remember teasers 6 points -100. Even money, many would say. Back in the year 2000, those were the good old days. Life has gotten harder to win.
Okay, explain the math to me. Like, what if it was 125?
All right, so basically, back when it was a -6, -110. All right, that was like each leg being at -260. I'm rounding. All right, but at -120 now it's like each leg's -280. If it was -125, each individual leg is like -290. Think about that. Do you really want to be betting something at -290? No, and at the current vig, it's like -310 per leg. So we always compare like the money line, like when we tease a 6.5-point favorite down to -0.5. That's essentially like playing the money line. And we say oftentimes the teaser will give you a slightly better price on a 7-point favorite than the money line. Well, now the money line's cheaper. Just play the money line if you like a 7-point favorite to win.
Wow. So it's over for me too, right?
It's over. Dunzo.
Oh my gosh. I love those teasers. Okay, listen, it is what it is. We move on, we adapt. I'm surprised they wouldn't do it at a number that people might still do it at -1. Although I guess some people just don't look, right, Steve? And that's probably what they're thinking. People don't look that much at the vig.
Yeah, it's kind of like gas station pricing where you either got to be like the cheapest guy in the block or, hey, the guy's got like 4 miles to go before he runs out of gas and he's got to fill up and he's not even looking, right? And so you can charge, $5 when everyone else is charging $4.49. So there's no reason to charge $4.69 because anyone price sensitive isn't going to go to your gas station anyways, right?
You know what my takeaway from it is, Steve, before we get to these picks? All the people that would complain that we would have too many teasers, like the proof is in the pudding. DraftKings and these other books wouldn't be doing this unless they were losing because people were beating them on these teasers. We had a solution that was very profitable for us. DraftKings and these other books realized it, which is why it's not available anymore. So when you guys were complaining, some of you weren't realizing that we had an edge. Okay, let's dive into it, Steve. We'll get into our week one bets. It's presented by SickScore.com. Sports Injury Central, the place to go for expert insights and injury-based projections. They're hitting at a 56.5% win rate. Go to SickScore.com. We'll have Dr. Chow on Thursdays every week. We start Thursday Night Football. The Cowboys are getting 8.5. The total's 47.5 in Philly, Steve.
These are the sharpest numbers you're going to have all year long. NFL Week 1, these numbers have been up all summer long. Because of that, we're going to have fewer plays than we typically have. That's part of the reason why we're going to have a show on Thursday where we give out prop bets and players, etc. I make the game 8, so I guess I lean to Dallas plus 8.5. who the heck knows what the Dallas mindset is for the team that they won't sign their best player. I will pass the game.
I agree. And I will say this as a reminder, Steve and I, we know a lot of you like to play a lot of games. So as a reminder, we will try to have a lean when we do have a lean. I actually think this is the right number. I'd probably lean Dallas to keep it close because of Dak and the receivers. I like in week one, taking the underdogs, getting the points. A lot of uncertainty in week one. What about the Chiefs against the Chargers in Brazil? The Chiefs are laying 3, Steve.
So I make the game 3.5. A big part of that is that Mahomes did play in preseason and the Chargers did lose a lineman. And I think that Andy Reid and company off of extended rest and in a foreign venue, I mean, the Chiefs excel at this. Bottom line is I think the line should be -3.5. So I will make KC -3. It is a best bet for me.
Love it. I'm with you. Yeah, that's not a best bet unless I'm in it, but I am. Congratulations. 2 units. How many units are you going, Steve?
2 units. If I don't say it's
2
always
units. 2. Kansas City -3. I think the Chiefs are going to be very good. I think the Rashawn Slater injury is huge. I think worst case scenario to me feels like the Chiefs push on this. That is our first best bet of the season. Chiefs -3 against the Chargers, 2 units.
The best bet.
We move on to Sunday football. Giants are getting 5.5 in Washington against the Commanders.
It's possible that the Giants could actually be decent this year. You know, that defensive line with Sexy Dexy, the rookie out of Penn State, Burns, I mean, all of those dudes can play. I could only lean to the Giants. I missed the +6, though, so just a lean Giants.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Giants. This is one of those where I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Giants won the game outright. This is one of those where road dog, you're not expecting it week one. They come out flying around. I'm going 2 units on the New York Giants plus the 5.5 in Washington. All right, keeping it moving. I don't know why my thing just said no available bets. Okay, here we go. Bengals laying 5.5 at the Browns, Steve. I got nothing on this one, not even really a lean.
I lean to Cleveland, but I got to tell you, we saw in college, LSU and the coaches like, we got to win week one. You know, this point of emphasis, we have struggled so much to open the season. And the Bengals are basically LSU. They have this game circled because they've been so bad the past 5 years in weeks 1 and 2. And they played their dudes in preseason. Because of that, I mean, I get it. Cleveland's going to be much better early in the year with Flacco than late in the year with the rookie quarterbacks. I'm going to pass.
Yep, I agree. I would have a slight lean to Cincinnati. What about the Steelers? They are laying 3 against the Jets in New York.
It's a classic example where I make the game, well, I made it 3, so, but you could talk me into leaning towards the dog, just a tiny lean plus the 3.
More great stuff right after this. I got to tell you guys, it was so cool to watch the Penn State game on Saturday and see that it's West Shore home field. You guys know they've been sponsoring my shows for the last few years now. Obviously, we got 3 doors done thanks to those guys. We also got my daughter's bathroom, which they love. I'm getting my bathroom done here in my detached garage. Basically, who's to say whether or not they would even have had the money for the naming rights for Penn State Stadium if it weren't for all of you guys going to westshorehome.com/Ross. That's what the field should say. It shouldn't say West Shore Home Field. It should say westshorehome.com/Ross Field. Right now, you can buy a full bath remodel, get a shower replaced and another bathroom free. Or you can buy a house full of windows, get a new entry door free. 12 months, no payment, no interest. Get an exclusive discount of $5,000 by going to westshorehome.com/Ross. See website for details. Yeah, I don't like when the number is right at 3 like that. I mean, I really don't know what to expect from either one of these quarterbacks. And I'm not going to go into a game. I really don't know what we're going to get from Fields or Rodgers. So I'm not doing that. What about the Cardinals and the Saints, Steve? I am calling this one for CBS. The Cardinals are laying 6.5. Totals 43.5. By the way, I should have mentioned, I've been forgetting to mention some of the totals, but the Steelers-Jets total was 38.5, which is super low. My bad on forgetting some of the totals. Bengals, Browns, 47.5. Giants, Commanders, 45.5, as was the Chiefs and the Chargers. All right, Cardinals laying the 6.5, Steve. Totals 43.5.
So all summer long, New Orleans is clearly a dumpster fire. I don't want to bet on the worst team in the NFL. I think a good bet is New Orleans to have the worst record in the NFL. You know what? This line's probably going to get to 7. When it does, I'll probably lose money on the Saints, but thank goodness it's not there. I make the game 6.5. I will, I guess, slight lean to the Saints.
I don't really have much on this game. Again, I think expect the unexpected in week 1. So if that's the case, I guess I would lean Saints as well. But I just can't do it. What about the Bucs and the Falcons? Falcons are getting 2.5. Totals 47.5. Would have been a terrific teaser leg back in the day.
I make the game pick 'em, so that solidly puts me on Atlanta. I can't help but think, remember last year the Bucs were supposed to be a 500 team. They win the division. They have a great offense. I kind of feel Atlanta's going to be the Bucs of 2024, where if Penix is good, they've got all the playmakers. Tampa Bay's all banged up. McMillan, wide receivers hurt. Godwin's hurt. Evans is 100 years old. I know Bucky Irving's fantastic, and Baker had a big year. In a shootout, I'll take Atlanta.
Wow. 2 units?
Yes, 2 units.
All right. Steve's always 2 units unless he says otherwise, by the way. Steve's always 2 units unless he says otherwise. I can't do it. If anything, I would lean to the Bucs. A lot of uncertainty for the Falcons. Baker's still a top 10 quarterback. I will lean Tampa. So Steve and I kind of going head to head there. What about the Dolphins? They're getting 1.5 in Indy against the Colts.
So early in the summer, Indy was the dog. I bet Indy. I got these teams being really, really close, but Miami just slightly better. Indy at home is -1 by my numbers. I pass the game.
I'm taking the Colts. I like Shane Steichen. I think he'll have a good offense there with Daniel Jones. They'll get solid, competent quarterback play. The Dolphins have one of the worst cornerback rooms I've seen. I have no faith in their O-line. Now their linebacker coach is getting arrested and he's placed on leave. I mean, it just doesn't feel like a good situation in Miami. Give me the Colts laying the 1.5 for 2 units. Panthers, Jaguars. Panthers are getting 3.5, and they are in Jacksonville. The total's 46.5.
So early in the summer, we talked about this line, and I said I liked Carolina plus 3.5. The more I look at this, though, I'm coming around to Jacksonville and Cohen being a good coach and getting the most out of his offensive weapons. With my current power ratings, I actually make the game, 3.5. I'll lean certainly to Carolina catching that 3 in that hook. I love that line, but now it's just a lean.
Yep, 2 units on the Panthers. You guys that are longtime listeners or viewers, youtube.com/Ross Tucker NFL, you know I love me some 3.5. They're telling you it's a close game, but you win on a field goal margin. Love it. 2 units, the Carolina Panthers. The Raiders. They're getting 2.5 in New England against the Patriots, Steve. Total's 43.5.
Yeah, make it like 2.75. So my gut says they're going to be tied in the fourth quarter, which means I'd like to take the Raiders plus 3, but I'm not getting 3. Hey, the market loves New England and what they're doing. I still think New England, Drake May is like the 24th best quarterback. I'm not believing all the New England hype, although they got a really easy schedule in a really close game. At 2.5, though, I pass.
Steve, I'm kind of with you. I look at it here and I'm thinking, I think that the Patriots hype's a little overblown. I don't like just a 2.5 point spread like that. If anything, I would lean Raiders. I will pass. The Titans are getting 7.5 in Denver to take on the Broncos, Steve. The total is 42.5.
Too bad, because I would love to have teased Denver, and I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to play into the bad number. Denver's been lights out home to start the season, the altitude advantage, and I really am high on Denver. I got nothing on this game. I make the game 8, but I'll say this. Would not shock me for Denver to win the division.
Are there offshore books where teasers are minus 120 still, you think, or no?
Yes, but they're rare. So
Okay.
look around, ask around. They're still out there.
Well, I was just going to say, because I thought the Falcons up to 8.5 was a good teaser leg. I think the Raiders up to 8.5 is a good teaser leg for people. Denver, I'm with you, Steve, down to 1.5. That I don't have a bet other than that. I would almost never lay 7.5.
And Survivor, if you're in the Survivor, don't screw around. Just play Denver and survive in advance.
Ooh, I like that, Steve. I like that. By the way, I'll make my picks straight up, Steve, on Wednesday's Ross Tucker Football Podcast this year. So used to be a Picks Friday. Now it's a Picks Wednesday with my straight up picks. All right. Niners are laying 2.5 on the road against Seattle. Total's 43.5.
Okay, now listen, I gave out the Niners during the summer. I bet them when they were -1, all right? Because I knew the line was going to go higher. But the Niners are banged up. Seattle is a good coach. The line's 2.5. I'm waiting for a 3, but if this game was about to kick off, I would certainly only look towards Seattle. Strong lean to Seattle plus 2.5. It would be a big bet plus 3, but there's a big difference between plus 2.5 and plus 3.
I'm taking the Niners. I am skeptical of Sam Darnold somewhere else. I'm skeptical of Sam Darnold playing at that high of a level. I think the Niners are on a mission after last year. I think the Niners go into Seattle and get a win by at least a field goal. San Francisco minus 2.5, 2 units. Lions and the Packers. Packers are laying 2.5, Steve. Total's 46.5.
So I got these two teams dead equal in my power ratings, but you know what? I think this is premature. Is Parsons even going to be acclimated to the team, etc.? And by week 3, I think they'll be equal. I still think Detroit's the slightly better team. I lean Detroit catching the points.
The only issue I have here is this news about Parsons needing an epidural and having a facet joint issue, in his back. If I knew Micah Parsons was full throttle, I would love Green Bay laying the 2.5. I'm still going to take him. Green Bay laying the 2.5, 2 units. This is the most points I've laid in a long time, but I think that they're going to come out on fire with this Parsons deal. Okay, what about the Texans, Steve? They are getting 3 on the road against the Rams.
I'm going to go ahead and move to the total. I'm going to play under 43.5. I think Houston is a dead nut under team, a team that has no running game, quarterback had a sophomore slump, O-line issues, but a great defense. And Stafford didn't play at all in preseason, and they're going to be really careful with him with his back issues. So with both teams not being ready to go offensively, I'm going to go under the 43.5.
Ooh, man. And the Texans have a totally revamped offensive line. And you're right. Their defense is lights out. I am totally with you, Steve. I love that bet. Under 43.5, Texans, Rams, 2 units, best bet. Love it.
The best bet.
Okay, last but not least, let's get to, we got 2 more actually. Ravens, Bills. Ravens are getting 1.5 on the road. Totals 50.5 in Buffalo, Steve.
So I make the game pick 'em, which means I should be on Baltimore. You know what? I'll do it. I'll do 1 unit on Baltimore plus the points. I did want to address the total. So this total during the summer was 53. It has ticked down consistently to the point where it's 50.5 to 51. A lot of times I'm contrarian this time of year. Whenever a line, a side, or a total has been moving, I look for the nadir or the apex of the line moving. I go against it. I go the other way. So I could see playing over on this game right before they kick off when it hits 50. But give me 1 unit. Baltimore's the best team in the NFL by at least a point. And if I'm catching points with Baltimore, a statistical darling team, I'm going to take it.
You know what, Steve? I'm with you. Everybody knows how I feel about the Buffalo Bills, one of my former teams, but I'm taking the Ravens. They've thought about nothing but this game for months. Look, it's the opening game. Both teams are going to be fired up. That environment's going to be incredible. But I think kind of a, let's call it law of averages thing, that the Ravens win this game. 2 units for me, Ravens plus the 1.5. That is our third best bet of the week.
The best bet.
Lastly, Steve, we've got the Vikings laying a 1.5 on the road in Chicago, totals 44.5.
So pulling back the curtain, earlier in the summer, the Vikings were catching 1.5 to +2, and I bet the Vikings. I make this game 0. Pick 'em. So now that the Bears are catching the points, I'm going to put 1 unit on the Bears. One thing I want to address, I think there's a strong correlation this year between the Lions and the Bears, all right? If it turns out that the Lions are good again this year, I think the Bears won't be good, and vice versa, because it's all about Ben Johnson, the new coach for Chicago, and how much it's going to hurt the Lions for losing him. If Ben Johnson is God and he's really good, then Detroit is going to be worse, and the Bears are going to be better than we expect, and vice versa. So let's watch that. If I had one correlation on season wins, I'm going to predict one of these teams goes over and one of the teams goes under because of the Ben Johnson factor.
Steve, I love your bet with Chicago plus 1.5, 1 unit. I'm with you on that. That is our fourth and final best bet. Make sure your notifications are tuned on so you get Thursday's show as soon as we release it. Other than that, good luck, everybody. Hope you guys win some money. Talk to you Thursday.
Thanks for tuning in to Even Money. Make sure to also check out the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, Fantasy Feast, and College Draft, all on the DraftKings Network, YouTube, or subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform.